Okay, hi everybody. My name is Tina. Hope you're all well. I am well here in New York. And today, this video is for anybody who is not familiar with Macra or has heard the term but doesn't really know much about it but wants to know more about it. So get your pens and paper ready because today is going to be on Macra basics. I'm just going to take you through the basics, step by step, easy. I can go into more detailed information, but I'm just gonna go right on the surface of what is Macra basics. Okay, so that's what this video is on today. Macra is the new healthcare law that has went into effect on January 1st, 2017, and what it stands for is Macra Access Chip Reauthorization Act of 2015. It was signed into office 2 years ago, and it replaced the sustainable growth rate formula of 1997. So that formula was really flawed, and physicians were facing a 9% penalty in 2019. But what Macra did was it created the quality payment program, and the quality payment program now only has physicians facing 4% penalties in 2019 if they don't want to comply. If they don't comply, then they'll get the 4%. But if they comply, then they'll get an increase. But we're going to talk about that. So Macra created the quality payment program. So here are the goals of the quality payment program. Number one goal is to deliver quality care at a lower cost, to improve beneficiary outcomes, to enhance clinician experience, increase adoption of advanced APMs, maximize participation, and improve data and information sharing, and ensure operational excellence in program implementation. So the biggest ones you're going to hear about is, of course, the increase the quality of care while decreasing the cost. Outcome beneficiary is huge. You're going to hear that all throughout Macra, all throughout this video. Enhancing the clinician experience, that's another big one, and the adoption of the APMs, that's huge, and the data sharing. I guess they're all big. But those are the four that I see a lot of. Okay, the quality payment program. It has two tracks, two reimbursement tracks: merit-based incentive program system and the advanced alternative payment models. So the MIPS is the most popular because about 90% of the clinicians are going to go into that track because they're not going to qualify for the advanced APM track. MIPS is budget neutral, and it has 4 performance categories. So now basically you're a score. So the clinicians are now a score. It's like they have a report card. And, you know, I don't agree with that terminology. I don't think anybody should be a score, but you know, I don't make these rules. I just want you to be aware of them. So now it's going to be paid on performance. All clinicians are going to be paid on performance. And you're going to get the chance now in MIPS, the merit-based incentive program. You're going to get the chance to earn points. So this is your CPS score. So here we are, I just said it. Every clinician will be reimbursed on performance. The score will be from 0 to 100. They can get a score of 0 to 100 in 2017. They can get an increase or decrease of up to 4% of their Medicare Part B charges. This is only Medicare Part B. This is not nursing homes. This is not, it's only Medicare Part B. The CPS score of 3 gives you no penalty, and a CPS score of 70 plus gives you 4% payment adjustment and qualify for some $500 million bonus, and we're going to talk about it. So that's the score. So this is what you can earn if you do really well in MIPS. And if anybody's familiar with PQRS and meaningful use, those are 2 out of the 4 performance categories, and value-based modifier. If you're familiar with those 3 legacy programs, PQRS, meaningful use, value-based modifier, then you'll be pretty much good to go with Macra. MIPS, because MIPS just combined those 3 legacy programs into one program. So there's no more pass or fail. Now you're going to be on this graph of where your points lie. Okay, so this is what you can make This is what you can make if you comply with MIPS. And I don't understand why anybody wouldn't comply, because they have made it, they being CMS, have made it so easy to comply with this. And there's so much money to be made. Okay. So the value of submitting data. So you're going to get, if you get 3 points, no, if you get 4 or more points, you can get an adjustment, payment adjustment of up to 4%. Now, in the law, they allow 3 times baseline positive payment adjustment in a given year. So it's not even 4% anymore. Now it's 12%. And this $500 million pot, if you get a 70 or more, is up to 10%. So now you're looking at, 22%. 22% increase to your Medicare Part B charges. I mean, that's enough incentive in and of itself. That's enough incentive to make your investments into upgrading your EHR or getting your practice assessed, more staff, or the staff takes on more responsibilities. I mean, this is incentive enough for me. 22%. I would like a 22% raise. Plus 0.5% increase to your physician fee schedule. That happened already. Plus all of the commercial insurances are going to follow, and you get state incentives. Now the state incentives, they don't advertise it. So you need to ask your office manager or your practice manager. Somebody needs to look into what your state has, because they have something. So you don't want to leave money on the table. So this is just the 4% for 2017. And by the way, it goes up to 5%, 7%, and 9%. So the first year you can get an extra $28,800. And you see how it keeps going up. Just for complying. And this is the way of the world now anyway. This healthcare law is just the way it's going to be now. So you're now going to be paid on performance. So why not perform well? Why not get the tools and the resources that you need to perform well? I mean, I feel like they're throwing a lot of money at you to do this. Okay, pick your pace. So you're going to have the choice to pick your pace. Do nothing. If you do nothing, and you'll receive the 4% penalty in 2019. So 2017 is the performance year, and then 2019 is the payment year. So it's the same thing as PQRS, meaningful use, and value-based modifier. Okay, submit something to avoid the 4%. So all you have to submit there is 1 quality measure or 1 improvement activity to avoid the penalty, or ACI, all of ACI base measures. I'm not going to get into everything because I have separate videos on everything. So just look it up on the YouTube channel. It's definitely there. Okay, so submit data for minimum of 90 days for a small payment adjustment. A lot of people are falling into that bucket. A lot of people are going after that. So you get a small payment adjustment up to 4%, depending on how well you do. Submit for a full year for a moderate payment adjustment and a chance at the $500 million pot. Now, depending on how you do, you can get the $500 million pot with 90 days. It all depends. There's a lot of factors and there's a lot of moving parts. So it all depends on where your patients came in, and if they came in the 90 days. I suggest more than 90 days. I suggest doing it up to 180 days. I don't think it should just be 90 days, because the way there's an adjustment factor with your score, and there's also a performance threshold with your score. So that's all going to factor in on top of your points. It's budget neutral, so it depends on what your peers do, how well they did, or how poor they did, on how much money you're going to get, how much money is going to be in that pot, that $500 million pot. Okay, so here's the 4 performance categories in MIPS. Well, clinicians earn points in the following categories: quality, up to 60% of your score; advancing care information, that's the old meaningful use, 25%; improvement activities, it's the newest category, 15%; and cost, which is the old value-based modifier, is 0% in 2017, but it will go up. Don't lose sight of cost. Performance categories, this is just the basics, where it's, 60% of your score. Choose 6 out of 200 measures to report. 1 outcome, 1 high priority, and you can do the specialty set. Report on 50% of your patients in 2017. That patient threshold will go up. Decide to report as a group or individual. I did a whole video on that alone. Decide your submission method, claims, EHR, web, CMS web interface, and you pick your pace. Same thing with ACI. We're 25% of your score. So right here is 85%. Right here is 85% of your score. Choose 4 or 5 base measures. That depends on your EHR certification. Everybody needs to be 2014 certified for 2017. It will be 2015 going forward in 2018. Okay, so you're going to get your 4 or 5 base measures. Old meaningful use, you'll be familiar with them. It's e-prescribing, it's all the same things. 8 additional performance measures to get extra points. Choose your submission method again. Claims, EHR, QCDR. Report on 50% of your patients, and then pick your pace. Okay, so improvement activities worth 15% of your score. Choose 2 or 4, depending if you're a large practice or a small practice. Small practice is 2 activities. Large practice is 4. Small practices need 20 points for full credit, and large practices need 40. There's 94 categories to choose from, and each there's 94 activities to choose from out of 8 categories. Each activity is weighted high or medium. The high weighted, there's only 14 high weighted, and the high weighted, I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to be anything beneficiary outcome, patient satisfaction, patient safety. Those are going to be the high weighted ones. There's only 14, so just be aware of that. The cost, the CMS is going to analyze your claims. Each measure is worth 10 points. Again, worth 0% in 2017, but that percentage is definitely going to rise. We saw one of the goals was to decrease costs, so CMS is really, really not being shy about watching your costs. They want to know which patients are costing you the most money and how you can get their costs down. Again, I always stress the creativity. It takes creativity to develop methods to help engage your patients. Talk to your staff. They definitely have very good ideas on what can help streamline the office, what can get patients in, what can help you. This is a team effort. This isn't like just a clinician goes at it alone, you know? Everybody's in this together. Okay, so the advanced APM, they're innovative payment models that reimburse clinicians for taking on risk to beneficiary outcomes. So CMS is now going to incentivize clinicians to take on more risk with the beneficiary outcome. So they're going to give you a 5% lump sum incentive to sign up to one of those APMs. The APM, some examples are all the ACOs, the PC, patient-centered model homes, and the bundled payment models. Those are APMs. So what do you need to do now? What do clinicians need to do? What's expected of them now? Okay, so you need to pick your reimbursement track, MIPS or APM. You have to see if you qualify for the APMs. I did a whole video on that as well. Report data to CMS when you are ready. So you have up until October 2nd to start reporting. So you have until October 2nd to pick your pace. Where's my slide? I like the visuals because I feel like it serves as a good guide. So you until October 2nd to either submit something, submit your data minimum 90 days, or obviously the full year's out. You didn't give yourself that option because you didn't start on January 1st. I encourage everybody to start on January 1st because that 100%, that score of 100% is definitely achievable. It was basically the proposed law. That was all the proposed law. Everybody was supposed to get to 100%, but they changed it with all the comments. Okay, so you need to submit all your data no matter when you picked your pace, no matter when you started by 3/31/18, and then you pick your participation, which I just said. So that's basically an overview of Macra, as simple as I can put it in, I don't know, a 15-minute video. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope you learned something. please feel free to email me with any questions or topics that you want me to cover. I will be happy to do so. And I'm very happy that everybody tuned in, and have a good day.